Aren't VTubers kind of weird when you think about it? Like, really think about it. What differentiates a VTuber from a regular ass live streamer? And I know some folk in the audience are looking at me like I just said I prefer purple crayons over blue crayons, which is the correct answer. You can fight me over this. VTubers, in spite of nowadays being nearly identical to a regular streamer, actually originate from a completely different evolutionary tree. You see, regular streamers are actually descendants of the now near extinct Let's Play genre of YouTubers. Sometime near the early 2010s, when the internet started to become less and less terrible, it became possible for some people to stream themselves playing games in real time, something once thought impossible for Let's Play creators. At first, only species on the brink of extinction found refuge in this new biome. The more successful Let's Players continued their way of life. But soon, this new streamer breed found itself in a much more advantageous position compared to their Let's Play brethren. You see, streamers don't have to edit videos, even if Let's Play videos are already extremely light on editing. The streamers also didn't have to rely on being entertaining all by themselves. Instead, they could rely on this new symbiotic species, now known to us scientists as chat, to bounce off funny moments or banter to keep its main feud turrets, the Watcher, around longer in order to extract more money, their food, off them. Even with these new advantages, it would take around a decade of constant evolution coupled with a mass extinction event now known as COVID to push the once prevalent Let's Players into near extinction. Although some of these are still currently alive and attract large amounts of prey, I mean viewers, such as the specimen Markiplier, but they are undoubtedly the junior species in comparison to how much reach the streamer breed now has. The V-Tuber genus originates from a completely different family tree. You see, they didn't evolve in the Western Pangea of internet culture, aka recession-era America. No, instead, VTubers are descendants of what researchers have dubbed weird-ass Japanese shit from the lost decades, their ancestors being idol groups. Now, my field of research doesn't really cover this topic, as I have a PhD in shitposting, but in a concentrated dose, idol groups are singing band groups composed of cute girls that sing and dance and shit. Dr. Wolfie, this just sounds like a girl or boy band in the West. And no, dipshit. You see, it has been discovered after like 2 minutes of research that idol groups' main food source is actually highly toxic when compared to their Western counterparts. The idol fans' food source is sole attention and unwavering love of their idol group. If they are deprived of this, they go into what researchers have dubbed fucking ape mode. For example, idol fans hate when one of the girls of their favorite idol groups have a boyfriend, because it deprives them of their idol's sole attention. This then leads to them viewing said idol group as a hostile entity in need of elimination because of their perceived betrayal. But this unprecedented level of love and hate for their symbiotic's food source also leads to their near undying loyalty to their idol group. They will spend thousands of dollars or whatever monopoly money they have on their group, merch, and making it their main and only personality trait. While, on the other hand, the streamer fan base really couldn't give two shits about their favorite streamer, as long as they're semi-entertaining and don't diddle little kids. The main drawback of the idol group way of life is the time and resources needed to produce a new idol group. Instead of just playing video games and maybe being funny, like streamers, an idol group requires multiple subunits to complete it. They also need to have very distinct personality traits to attract attention, and they must be good at singing and dancing, thus requiring immense training, all for the hope of maybe attracting some fans. The girls of the group also have to maintain a strict regimen of diet, exercise, and body form, even personal connections having to be tightly controlled. Thus, scientists wanted to try and avoid these extreme drawbacks mentioned, like extreme costs and crazy fans. But they still want to keep the money machine printing. They would make this breakthrough in the mid-2010s with what they dubbed Keys in the Eye, the world's first ever virtual idol, or rather, the world's first ever virtual YouTuber. Keys in the Eye used a digital avatar, which negated some of the drawbacks of idol groups, such as having to maintain a strict personal life, due to, of course, it being anonymous. Anonymous? Yeah, anonymous. But the technology was extremely expensive and difficult to mass produce. It would take around half a decade of constant breakthroughs to make these VTubers at a commercial scale. The cost reduction also meant that the uncultured swine could afford to become VTubers, meaning people didn't need to be as skilled as a normal idol recruit. Although it was still implied these VTubers needed to be able to sing or dance, or some other shit. This would lead to a constant feedback loop where VTubers would stray more and more from their idol roots and become closer and closer to their streamer compatriots, thus making this a case of convergent evolution. But the VTubers still kept the general food gathering system of their ancestors, would buy a fuck ton of merch from their favorite personality, with the unspoken rule that the VTuber would cater to the fans in some way, such as being a little bit or a lot per social. This would take the form of, for example, girlfriend streams, where VTubers would pretend to be the viewer's girlfriend, a relatively uncommon, or even frowned upon, act in the Western streaming space. VTubers would also keep the piety culture of their forerunners, such as them being frowned upon for openly stating that they're in a relationship. This eventually led to a hybrid of both Western streaming and idol culture. VTubers nowadays can just be a streamer, in the Western sense, who plays video games and just talks with this chat entity. But they must follow some semblance of idol culture, such as being parasocial or even flirtatious with chat. But we're now beginning to see a merger of the purebred streamer genius with the hybrid VTuber culture. Experts are currently unsure of what this merger would entail. But signs are already starting to emerge, such as a disregard of past idol culture, like for example Specimen Nimi Nightmare publicly stating that she's getting married, or more VTuber drama beginning to look like just regular streaming drama. Instead of fans melting down by the fact that Rushia had a husband, now fans find out that their favorite VTuber actually diddles little kids. Researchers have also discovered that VTubers have even developed their own subbreed, dubbed the Gunnar VTubers, which completely forego idol piety for increased revenue generation via more adult-styled content. But that's a story for another day. Nature truly is amazing, right?